Some of Netflix's biggest shows they've ever done are coming to an end either this year or next year, including Outer Banks. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another video. So today I've got a video detailing everything we know about Outer Banks Season 5. Of course, this will be the 5th and final season of the show, so I'm detailing everything we know so far and comparing the filming schedule to past seasons, as well as where we could head with the plot, and also just looking at the overall timeline of production. But before I get into this, hit that like button, comment down below your predictions for Outer Banks Season 5, and of course, subscribe into that notification bell to help reach my goal of 150,000 subscribers here on the channel. I mean, quite a bit. So like I said up front, Outer Banks Season 5 is the last season of this show, and I'm going to go through the production timeline thus far and start by actually taking it back to the very beginning with Season 1 and looking at how long those seasons filmed, kind of getting some information out there before we look at the timeline for Season 5 filming. So starting with Season 1, it released on April 15th, 2020, all 10 episodes, and it kind of became a pandemic show for many. Like, tons of people were talking about this the month after the pandemic hit and everyone was locked up in their homes. It then got renewed for Season 2, which would release on July 30th, 2021. Season 3 didn't come out until February 23rd of 2023. And for the 4th season, it was actually the first season to release in parts, whereas with the first 3, all 10 episodes premiered at once on the same date. With Season 4, they dropped 5 episodes on one date, then the next month they dropped the final 5 episodes. Part 1, of course, released on October 10th, 2024, with the last 5 episodes releasing on November 7th, 2024. And then a few days before those last episodes of Season 4 dropped, it was announced that Netflix was renewing Outer Banks for a 5th and final season. And they let us know it'd be coming out in 2026, but obviously we still don't have a set in stone concrete release date to circle on the calendar just yet. So looking at Season 5, production actually began this summer in June. In fact, June 16th, 2025 marks the production start date, and we got this photo of the cast on June 20th. As you can see, it features Jonathan Davis, Madison Bailey, Chase Stokes, Carlacia Grant, Drew Starkey, and Madeline Klein. Now, notably missing is, of course, Rudy Pankow, who portrayed JJ Maybank in this show. As we all know, his character died in the Season 4 finale, and we even got a video of the cast saying farewell to JJ, pretty much concretely saying, hey, look, JJ's dead. Now, if you want to dive into the behind the scenes as to why Rudy Pankow left the show, you can do that in your own time. Allegedly, there was some behind the scenes drama that I don't really feel like getting into. There's probably 30,000 other YouTube video essays you can find breaking down the nitty gritty with the cast drama, but if you know, you know. Now, the character JJ was undoubtedly a fan favorite. He was one of my favorite characters for sure, so it's a major loss to Outer Banks, and we'll talk about what that means for the future of the show later. But with filming of Season 5 already a few months in and a 2026 release window set, what can we look forward to next? For me personally, I'd imagine they're gonna try and get this season out in the summer of 2026, ending the show in the summertime. In real life, I kind of view Outer Banks as a summer show, so this would be fitting. If we take the Season 4 filming schedule into account, they actually began filming in June of 2023, but then they had to halt in July, 1 month later due to the actors and writer strikes, and they weren't able to resume filming until November of 2023. Ultimately, filming concluded the following June of 2024, so all in all, they filmed for about 9 months for Season 4, but it's impressive because they were still able to get the season out in October and November of that year, so we only had to wait about 4 months between filming ending and them getting the season out on Netflix, at least the first part. So if we apply the Season 4 filming timeline to the Season 5 filming timeline and say they filmed for 9 months for Season 5, just like they did with Season 4, that would mean filming would wrap in around March of 2026, which would perfectly set up a July to August release for the final season of Outer Banks, as that would be about 4 months after filming ended. And like I said, that would give us an OBX summer to end the series. It only feels right. And this last season will likely release in 2 parts, just like with Season 4, along with many other popular Netflix shows, because that's just their new business model. But then we'll be saying goodbye to the Pogues forever, which is sad to say because we've already witnessed the end of many eras with Netflix. Squid Game already came to an end. Stranger Things is about to end in December. It's like we're saying goodbye to some of the titans of Netflix in my mind, so it's a damn shame. But now that we got all that technical stuff out of the way and we know the show's coming out in 2026, hopefully around July to August, what can we expect from the plot in this final season? Like, where are we headed with these characters? Well, the final moments of Season 4 show us our Pogues gathered around a fire. They're very defeated after the loss of JJ, but they swear revenge on Groff for JJ's death. A lot of this obviously coming from Kiara, who's very upset after losing JJ. They had one last heartbreaking moment together. Sad to see Kiara end like that. But they also lost the blue crown to Chandler Groff. He's fully obtained it, so he's got it. They're definitely going after him. And without JJ in the picture, that gap has to be filled, and none other than Rafe is probably going to step in and have a much more prominent role with the gang in this final season. And I think Drew Starkey gives one of the best performances in the show, so I'm honestly okay with that. I'll miss JJ greatly. I'm not saying you can just replace him, but to have more Rafe moments, I think I'm okay with that, just because he adds that dynamic to the group. He's a hot shot. He can never really predict what he's going to do, and he might damn well betray them 2 episodes into season 5, but that's kind of what makes the show more interesting, in my opinion, is having someone who can be so unhinged like that. In addition to all this, Sarah Cameron is pregnant. So you know we're probably going to see the birth of John B. and Sarah's child at some point this season. When will that be? Will that be like an epilogue type thing? Will it be early on in the season? Will there be a baby all throughout? Hopefully, if so, they don't go the CGI baby route that we got in Squid Game Season 3. But whatever Season 5 holds for us, I imagine we're going to see our Pogues going after Groff and the Blue Crown on yet another adventure that probably spans the globe. We'll have some small town adventures in the Outer Banks, but I'd imagine with this being the final season, there's going to be some sense of grand adventure that takes us overseas somehow. I mean, they got to go big for the final season. We're probably going to get some wild moments here. My biggest fear, like I've kind of hinted at, is the absence of JJ. He was, in many ways, the heart of the group at times, but I do think they'll still be able to make up for that loss. I still love a lot of these characters and the dynamic they have, so I'm hopeful they can end the show on a high note. Now, in other news, there actually have been some set pics going around. There are lots of great Twitter pages out there, all about Outer Banks, you know, behind the scenes updates, so you can just look that up on Twitter and find your fair share of Outer Banks news sources. Shout out to all of them. But they do film the show in Charleston, South Carolina predominantly, and there have been lots of set pics of the usual suspects around town. You know, Madeline Klein, Chase Stokes, all these different characters getting into different antics. You can't really make out clearly what's going on in some of the shots, but it looks like someone could be getting arrested. What's new? It looks like there's going to be some chase sequences, a stunt being performed on a bridge in Charleston. Like, we're going to get typical Outer Banks drama, high stakes stuff. I'm here for it. And it does look like Topper will be back along with the character Ruthie, who is like his lady friend type character in season 4. There's some characters in this show that frustrate the hell out of me, so I am curious to see what the hell they get themselves into in season 5. But that's kind of all we know for now. Now we just patiently wait as filming continues to ultimately get a teaser trailer and then an official trailer, but that'll probably be a few months before the season actually comes out. So the first thing we'll probably get is a date announcement with maybe 15-20 seconds of footage, and they'll really probably start ramping up marketing, if I had to guess, in the early parts of 2026, like January, February, March, is when we'll probably get the next big piece of news for Outer Banks, because Netflix is still busy marketing other things, like Wednesday Season 2 is ongoing right now. Stranger Things is going to really take over the back half of this year, so they have a lot of other major shows and movies to market. Outer Banks will be one of their big focuses in 2026, though, because it's one of their bigger shows that is coming to an end with the final season. But that pretty much covers most of what we know about Outer Banks Season 5 so far. JJ's not going to be back. Our Pogues are going to be going after Chandler Groff and the Blue Crown with revenge on their minds. And when it comes to filming itself, it's underway right now. They've been filming for about 2 months, and if we look at the timeline of filming for Season 4, it would make sense if this season released in July or August, or half the season in July, half in August, even August, September, but next summer is when I would circle your calendar for the most likely release of Outer Banks Season 5 on Netflix. But that does it for this Outer Banks news update about everything we know so far. If you want me to cover Outer Banks Season 5 production leading up to the final season, let me know in the comments down below. Of course, I'll review the season when it comes out, do a big seasons ranking and all that stuff, but if you want me to cover it along the way, I can definitely do that, so let me know down below. But thank you guys, as always, for watching. Of course, hit that like button, subscribe to that notification bell, and be on the lookout for more videos coming very soon. But until next time, I'll see you guys later, and P for L, baby.